Hello Internet, Rob from A Minor Error here with a shootout comparison video between two almost identical guitars on the surface. I've got a Legator Ninja 6 Overdrive going up against a Schecter Merrow KM6 Mark III. Now both of these guitars occupy pretty much the exact same price point brand new. They're around $1,200 to $1,300. Neither of these guitars come with a case from the factory, which I think is insane. And both of them used secondhand or even marked down brand new are around the $800 mark. Now both of these guitars are fixed bridge strung through body with non-locking tuners. They both have 24 nickel frets. They're not stainless steel guitars, and they also have humbucker pickups that are passive from their own manufacturer's companies. They're not a third-party company. They both have three-way pickup selector switches, one volume knob, and no tone knob. The only difference here is that the Schecter does have a two-way coil split switch on it as well, which is definitely a nice touch. They also both have very similar looking fret dot inlays in an ebony fingerboard. The only real difference is the body woods are different. So with the Legator, you get mahogany. On the Schecter, you get swamp ash. I mean, these guitars are just so crazy similar that when I got the Schecter in, my wife didn't even recognize that there was a new guitar that had shown up at our house. So I think it's a perfect comparison and a perfect time to take a look at what these two different companies are offering for around intermediate level prices. So for both of the demos, I'm going to be using the exact same signal path. I'm running a string source guitar cable directly into my MkIII M2 audio interface, and as always, I'm using neural DSP plugins with my own processing and saturation just to try to make them sound their absolute best. So first, let's take a look at the Legator. Now let's take a look at the Schecter. So overall, I found the Legator performed fairly well. The tone was okay from those stock pickups, about exactly what you would expect from just a manufacturer's self-branded passive pickups. You know, they worked good enough for rhythms and for leads. So with this Schecter guitar, I do think that the hardware and those pickups are just slightly a cut above what you would expect from your intermediate level guitar. I do think they are definitely slightly better than what the Legator is offering. The biggest difference that jumps out to me between these two guitars is the overall fit and finish of them. The overall fit and finish of the Legator is almost laughably bad, especially the neck joint heel that connects to the body. There's a huge gap in there. I have no idea why that was allowed to leave the factory. Another thing that's cosmetically suspect about the Legator is that upper volute looks like something that I would have done in like a high school woodshop class. It's very unevenly sanded. It's just overall does not inspire confidence. The Legator is also way lighter than the Schecter, and not that heaviness necessarily means that it's gonna be a better instrument, but the Legator just feels cheap and overall a lack of attention to detail. The Schecter's overall fit and finish is clearly heads and tails much better than the Legator just overall. The neck pocket bolt-on point is absolutely perfect. The overall attention to detail is really nice. They've got a little extra kind of sculpted section on the top of the headstock. The volute is absolutely perfectly carved. The overall just feel of this guitar is what you should expect for a guitar in the $800 to $1,200 range. The Legator body is a little bit more sculpted, which makes it more comfortable to play sitting down, but it does have its strap pins in sort of the traditional spot on the top of the horn and the lower part of the body, whereas the Schecter body isn't as sculpted. It's actually a little uncomfortable to play sitting down. There is no sort of bevel for where your arm would go, so there's this sharp piece of wood that kind of cuts into your arm, but the strap pin has been moved to the back of the upper horn. Just that simple change of placement makes a huge difference in the comfort when you're playing standing up. The first guitar I ever played that had the strap pin put there was the Strandberg original behind me, and that placement helps move the neck of the guitar away from you slightly. It just makes playing standing so much easier. So the Legator, I think, actually wins sitting down. It is a little bit more of a sculpted body, but standing up, the Schecter is clearly better. So at the end of the day, I would highly recommend the Schecter over the Legator. I was really disappointed with the overall fit and finish of the Legator. Like I said, that guitar just kind of feels cheap and sort of flimsy, whereas this Schecter feels like it's very well made. There's an attention to detail here, and the overall tone, I think, is definitely a cut above as well. Please hit like and subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. Helps my channel continue to grow. Here, A Minor Error is the creative home for everything that I do musically, which is original progressive metal music, product reviews, tip talking head videos, and free music lessons. I also recently put out a new EP called Cauldron of Stars, so if you like the 2 demo tracks on these guitars, definitely stop by and check that out. I think you'll really like it as well. I'll do the little links and yada yada. I'd greatly appreciate you taking the time to check out my music. Also, follow me on the different social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook. Also, you can check out all of my past music on Spotify. Links are down below to help you get there.